After a young boy purchases a gift for his mother, Keanu Andre enters and completely alters the situation. From where are you watching? For more motivational stories, please leave a comment below and remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can also help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Jordan Ellis, then 11 years old, had just spent all of his money in his piggy bank to purchase a Christmas present for his mother on a cool January night in 2015. Everything changed when Keanu Andre entered a packed toy store in New York where he was standing. For months, Jordan had been hoarding every coin he could find. Since his father abandoned him when Jordan was only a child, his mother, Elena, who is a single mother, has been his pillar of support. To support Jordan, Elena, 36, did two jobs. She cleaned offices at night and served as a server during the day. Jordan was never able to sense Elena's lack of money. Her warmth, humor, and boundless love transformed their small, one-bedroom flat into a castle. Even though they never had much money for gifts or decorations, Jordan knew his mother adored Christmas. He was resolved to gift her something unique this year, something that would bring her a type of smile he hadn't seen in a long time.
Night.
Weeks before, he had watched her stop in front of a fragile snow globe in the storefront display, the kind with glistening glitter and a warm winter scene inside. After admiring it for a moment, she said, "Perhaps someday." Today was that someday. After school, Jordan walked 2 kilometers to the store and counted out $20, all in pennies and crumpled dollar bills. With a racing heart, he picked up the snow globe and went to the counter, praying it wouldn't cost more than the tag he had committed to memory weeks earlier. However, his face sank as he got to the cashier. "I'm sorry, kid," the cashier murmured, sounding almost contrite. Jordan's stomach fell as he heard, "The price went up last week. It's $25 now." He took a few more coins out of his pocket, but it was still insufficient. He fought back tears as he turned to go. Desperate, he heard a strong voice behind him at that moment. "Hey, let me help with that." Jordan froze, turning around. Keanu Andre was the one. Even with the unkempt beard, he recognized the actor right away. The clerk appeared equally astounded, his jaw agape. With a gentle smile on his lips, Keanu lowered himself to Jordan's level. Jordan gave a bashful nod when asked, "You buying this for someone special?" Keanu's eyes grew softer as he got up and took out his wallet. "For my mom. She works a lot. She really liked it when we saw it before." "Tell you what," he added as he gave the cashier a clean $60 bill. Jordan was at a loss for words. "This one's on me, and give the kid some change, okay?" "Thank you," he managed quietly, but Keanu wasn't finished. "You know, I've got a soft spot for moms. She sounds pretty amazing. What's her name?" "Elena," Jordan replied. Keanu grinned broadly. After taking a quick glance around the store, he turned back to the boy and said, "Well, Jordan, let's make sure Elena has the best Christmas ever." Jordan blinked incredulously and asked, "Mind if I help you pick out something else for her?" "Really?" Then they suddenly found themselves strolling the aisles together. When Keanu inquired about Elena, her interests, and even Jordan's favorite things, Jordan was astounded by how sincere and polite he was. However, another thing began to happen as they passed through the store. People started to pay attention. Some quietly took out their phones while others mumbled. A small throng had gathered by the time Jordan and Keanu arrived at the checkout desk with a second gift, a warm scarf that Keanu believed was ideal for Elena. Keanu didn't appear to mind. After making all the necessary payments, he gave Jordan the bag and knelt down once more. Then he continued, "Now promise me one thing." Jordan gave an enthusiastic nod. "When you give this to her, tell her it's not just from you," Keanu replied. Jordan's eyes filled with tears as he gripped the bag firmly. "Tell her it's from someone who thinks she raised an amazing kid." "I will," he said in a whisper. However, Keanu was ready to go when an unforeseen circumstance occurred. "Hey, Keanu, you're a legend, man," said a man in the audience. A roar of applause followed and someone yelled, "Can we get a photo?" Keanu grinned courteously, but glanced down at Jordan. Winking, he said, "Want to help me escape?" Another voice interrupted Jordan before he could respond. A middle-aged woman in a dapper suit came forward and gave Keanu a direct look. Keanu's attitude shifted slightly, cautious yet intrigued. "Mr. Andre," she continued in a stern but kind tone, "can I have a word?" Hang tight for a second, okay? He murmured, looking at Jordan. The woman drew Keanu away and spoke softly. Although Jordan was unable to hear what they were saying, he saw Keanu's expression change from one of surprise to a contemplative frown. Before, much to Jordan's surprise, he turned back to face him with a determined expression. Jordan blinked. Jordan, he began, how about we make this an even better day for your mom? What do you mean, smiled Keanu. You'll see, but I'm going to need your help. Jordan and Elena's lives would be profoundly altered by what transpired next. But for Jordan, the only thing he knew was that his favorite movie star had just turned the most difficult and lonely Christmas he had ever experienced into the start of something wonderful. Keanu knelt down once more, his expression warm but serious. Listen, Jordan, he said, sometimes people come into your life at just the right moment. I think this is one of those moments. Believe me, Jordan nodded, not knowing what Keanu was getting at, but already feeling oddly at ease in his company. Jordan heard a whisper from the woman in the suit, who he subsequently discovered was Keanu's assistant. Keanu looked at her once more, nodded slightly, and then turned back to Jordan. Before we leave, Keanu said in a gentle yet stern voice, tell me about your mother. What is her greatest passion outside of you? What is her dream? Jordan paused, considering how little his mother discussed herself. Making ensuring Jordan was all right had always been her top priority. He did recall, however, one thing she had said once late at night when she believed he was not paying attention. She always wanted to be a teacher, Jordan remarked with a low voice. With a hint of regret, he said, she loves kids, but she couldn't finish college because of me. Keanu's expression softened, and he briefly appeared to be deep in thought as he said, she says it's okay, but I know she wishes she could have done it. Then he flashed the smile Jordan had seen in movies, the optimistic look that gave you hope that everything would work out. Jordan didn't understand what that meant, but Keanu took his hand gently and escorted him out of the store before he could inquire. Let's make something happen for her, yeah? The throng was now humming, with some people filming and others yelling, but Keanu skillfully waved them away while keeping Jordan beside him. Jordan became aware of how far away he was from home when the chilly air slapped his face as they went outside. He muttered, I should probably go back, as he gripped the bag containing the scarf and snow globe. Keanu knelt down once more and looked directly into Jordan's eyes, saying, my mom gets worried if I'm late. Jordan nodded, his confidence in the actor increasing with each second. Do you trust me to get you home safely? He asked. A sleek blue SUV arrived at the curb a few minutes after Keanu took out his phone and made a brief call. Jordan felt compelled to tell Keanu about his life as they traveled around the metropolis. He told him about the times his mother would come home tired, but still find time to sit and read with him, how she always had a smile on her face even in the face of adversity, and the small Christmas customs they maintained, such as watching old movies together and decorating a small fake tree they had owned since he was 5. Keanu nodded and occasionally asked questions as he listened carefully. The actor laughed when Jordan told him how much his mother enjoyed Keanu's films, particularly The Lake House. He uttered the enigmatic words, well, let's see if we can make her next favorite memory even better. At last, the SUV arrived at Jordan's apartment building. Keanu escorted him to the door and gave him the bag while crouching one final time. Jordan nodded, his heart bursting with appreciation. Now remember, he added, this isn't just about the gifts. It's about letting your mom know how much she means to you. She sounds like an incredible woman. Before he could express his gratitude and convey the significance of this, Keanu added, oh, and one more thing. I'll be back tomorrow. Tell her to keep her afternoon free. Keanu then ruffled Jordan's hair and strolled back to the waiting car, leaving Jordan speechless and intrigued. Now, Jordan put the presents under their small tree inside the apartment and waited tensely for his mother to return home. When she did, the sight of the snow globe made her face light up. Jordan blurted out, Mom, you need to stay home tomorrow? Someone special is coming? Elena glanced at him, bewildered but smiling. Jordan, she said, tears in her eyes. How did you... Jordan, what's this about? You'll see, Jordan offered, smiling in spite of himself. Jordan waited during the delayed arrival of the following day. Jordan protested that it didn't matter, but Elena, still perplexed, stayed at home and cleaned and organized the tiny flat. There was a knock on the door at precisely 3 p.m. Jordan's heart pounding, he hurried to open it. As promised, Keanu Andre was standing there with a bouquet of plain white flowers in one hand and a sizable envelope in the other. Elena recognized him and froze, her eyes wide. She muttered, "Oh my God," as her hand sprang to her mouth. Keanu smiled warmly as he entered. His words, "You must be Elena." Elena blinked and her cheeks flushed as she said, "Jordan's told me so much about you." Keanu gave her the flowers first, then the envelope, and she said, I don't understand what's happening," he said softly. "Amazing people like you deserve a little help sometimes." Elena's hands were shaking as she opened the envelope. It contained a completed scholarship application for a teaching program at a nearby community college. A letter from Keanu himself was sent, promising to pay for all outstanding expenses, including tuition, books, daycare, and anything else. Elena was crying so hard that her legs almost buckled. She glanced at Jordan, who was grinning, and then at Keanu, whispering, I don't know what to say," she said. Keanu grinned. With tears streaming down her cheeks, Elena gathered Jordan in a tight embrace and said, "Say yes. The world needs more people like you teaching the next generation." "Thank you," she said at last, turning to face Keanu. Keanu shook his head and said, "I don't know why you do this for us, but thank you. Your son's the real hero here. He loves you so much, it's impossible not to want to help." For a while, the three of them just talked about dreams, hardships, and the surprising kindness of strangers as the moment hung heavy with emotion. However, Jordan knew in his heart that this was only the start of something much more significant. That day, Keanu lingered a bit longer, drinking tea that Elena hesitantly offered him while seated at their small kitchen table. Despite its modesty, peeled wallpaper, and used furniture, the flat exuded warmth, laughter, and the type of love that money could never purchase. Keanu appeared to notice everything, including the modest stack of Jordan's schoolwork on the table, the small, cherished Christmas tree in the corner, and the cleanly folded clothes Elena hadn't yet put away. Keanu eventually responded, "You've done an amazing job, Elena," in a calm and earnest tone. Even though her cheeks were still wet from the tears, Elena grinned and said, "Jordan's proof of that." She hesitated and looked at the envelope on the table before saying, "I've just been doing my best. He's my whole world." Keanu folded his arms thoughtfully and leaned back a little. "But this is more than I ever could have dreamed of. I don't even know how to thank you." Saying, "You don't need to thank me. Just promise me you'll believe in yourself as much as Jordan believes in you. That's all the thanks I need." Elena was genuinely affected by the words, and her heart grew proud as she turned to face Jordan. "I'll try," she said in a whisper. "I really will." Keanu turned to smile playfully at Jordan as he got up to go. Jordan nodded with a sense of purpose as he said, "You take care of your mom, okay? She's one of the good ones." Keanu offered them both a final heartfelt smile before leaving the room and vanishing down the corridor like a silent guardian angel. "I will." Elena couldn't stop smiling that night as she and Jordan sat on the couch and gazed at their small Christmas tree's sparkling lights. She turned the snow globe repeatedly while holding it in her hands, seeing the glitter swirling inside like small wonders. Jordan nodded, putting his head on her shoulder as she gently whispered, "Jordan," drawing him in closer. "You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Do you know that?" he whispered. "You're the best mom ever." Elena kissed the top of his head, her heart both full and hurting at the same time. "I just wanted you to have something special. You're my special gift every single day." The days that followed passed by like a flash. With both excitement and worry, Elena finished the scholarship application that Keanu had begun. She kept asking herself whether this was true and whether someone like her, who had been struggling for so long, would be able to pursue her goals at last. Then a letter came in the mail on Christmas Eve. It came from the community college, welcoming her to their teaching program and offering her a full scholarship. Elena's hands were shaking as she read the letter repeatedly while seated at the kitchen table. She said, "We did it, Jordan," and gathered him together. Jordan chuckled and said, "I'm going back to school." His eyes were full with tears. "I knew you could do it, Mom. I knew it." However, there were other surprises that Christmas. Another knock on the door occurred on Christmas morning while they were opening the few modest presents beneath the tree. A delivery man was waiting there with a big, well-wrapped parcel when Elena opened it. After saying, "Delivery for Elena Parker," he handed it to her. Bewildered, Elena carried the box inside and, with Jordan's assistance, opened it. It contained a handwritten message, a stack of textbooks, and a brand new laptop. Elena put the card to her bosom while crying. It said, "Elena, every teacher needs the right tools. I know you'll make a difference. Keep believing in yourself. Merry Christmas, Keanu." Overwhelmed by the generosity they had received, Jordan gave her a tight hug. Elena started taking lessons throughout the course of the following few months, balancing her education with her work and taking care of Jordan. It wasn't always easy. She had days when she questioned whether she could actually succeed, late nights and times of uncertainty. The snow globe on their shelf, however, served as a constant reminder of that fateful day and the guy who had faith in her, and she glanced at it whenever she felt like giving up. Although Keanu never got in touch with them directly again, his gesture had started a chain reaction that would continue to support them for years to come. 2 years after graduating, Elena obtained her teaching credential and was hired by a nearby primary school. Jordan, who is currently a high school student, saw his mother change into the self-assured, resilient, and inspirational person he had always known she could be. Elena recalled that icy January day as she stood in front of her classroom years later, teaching a group of second graders to read. She recalled the generosity of an outsider who had recognized her value when she was unable to. And as a permanent reminder of love, hope, and the strength of trusting in others, she and Jordan positioned the snow globe at the top of their tree each Christmas.